There are over 500 weapons in all of Terraria, each fall into a different class and have many different abilities and apply different effects. Some inflict poison, some rain arrows from the sky, and some have lifesteal. Today I want to talk about one of the most iconic weapons in Terraria. It's a weapon that not only looks amazing and is fun to use, but is very powerful no matter which stage of the game that you're in or whichever class you're playing. They're the Vampire Knives, a rare post-Plantera melee weapon that inflicts lifesteal. For every use of the Vampire Knives, it throws a spread of blood red knives that do damage and heal you as they make contact with the enemies. Healing is indicated by the green numbers that appear above the player's head as the player uses the weapon and the red marks that connect with the player. It's a guaranteed item from the Crimson Biome chest in the dungeon, which can be opened by the Crimson Key, one of the rarest items in the game with a drop chance of 0.04% from all enemies in the Crimson. It's one of the most loved weapons in Terraria for a reason. It's super powerful and is able to shred through many enemies while providing lifesteal. And while I love this weapon and I use it frequently myself, I'm here to say it's a little bit overrated. The Vampire Knives do a decent amount of damage, especially when used in adjacent to melee boosting accessories, but they don't do enough to beat most late hard mode endgame bosses. In fact, I'd say they're only good enough to beat Golem with, but after that you're gonna want to switch to a better higher damage melee weapon. Not to mention it's useless against Moonlord since he's immune to lifesteal. It's useless against Daytime Empress of Light since she'll one-shot you no matter what, and it's also ineffective in harder modes like Master Mode and for the Worthy since everything does so much damage that no amount of lifesteal can make up for poor dodging skills. This is not to say that the Vampire Knives are completely useless in those modes, but they definitely aren't the best option. There are also many higher damage alternatives to the Vampire Knives late game such as the Sickle, Terrorblade, and even the Scourge of the Corruptor, the corruption counterpart to the Vampire Knives that is very underrated and powerful. On top of all of this, keep in mind how rare the Vampire Knives are. They're only post-Plantera and require the player to have found one of the rarest items in the entire game, the Crimson Biome Key, as well as found the Crimson Biome chest in the dungeon. People spend hours trying to get the Biome Keys. Their drop chance is 1 in 2500, much rarer than even the Rod of Discord. Although it is true that the Rod of Discord is dropped by only one enemy, while Biome Keys are dropped by a variety of enemies. Now that I've explained why the Vampire Knives are overrated, I'll say this. They're still an amazing weapon, although they're best used as a secondary. By this I mean that they should be used in tandem with another higher damage weapon. You can use the higher damage weapon like the Death Sickle or another one, and then switch to the Vampire Knives whenever you get low and you need life. This is the best way to use them for any class. In this video I went over the basics of the Vampire Knives and what my opinion is on them. They're overrated, although still a good weapon when used in adjacent with another higher damage primary weapon. At least no one can deny that they're one of the coolest weapons in Terraria. What do you think about the Vampire Knives? Leave a like for more content like this and I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a beautiful day. Until next time, peace.